So, Your Excellency, I'm thanking you for your valuable time.
Thank you.
Great honor for me because it's only like 1 week, then you approved to meet me. I know the time is also very interesting. I mean, the situation lately in your countries. This interview, let's say, we will have 3 parts of the interviews.
All right.
One, we are talking about your countries because I think we need also to educate our people about Ukraine. For myself, Ukraine is still like foreign countries, meaning that I have no idea a lot.
Yep.
Of course, I can open Wikipedia and so on and so on, but I think I would like to listen from someone who was born in Ukraine and so on. That's the first part. And then the second part will be about our bilateral relation.
Yes.
I believe that there is mission that you bring here. And the third part, we can talk about regional issues, global issues, including the current tension
No
with
problem.
Russia. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The one very important question: how much time do we have?
I think at the most we have 1 hour.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah. Then okay.
No, because I have to leave at 6, so
Right.
we have 2 hours. No problem.
okay,
So
it's okay.
whatever.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Ukraine, it is situated in the northern side of Black Sea, isn't it?
Yes.
And you are surrounded by former Soviet Union's countries.
No,
No.
this is not.
Okay, please.
Yeah. To take it briefly, Ukraine is interesting because if you mention Ukraine, not many people here in Indonesia know about it that much. Exactly like Ukrainians don't know much about Indonesia.
Right.
For it's a fact.
Right.
So I just give you some little information about what Ukraine is.
Yeah.
First, the geographical center of Europe in Ukraine.
Okay.
Geographical center, right? Because we have this European part of Russia and everything, but Ukraine is in the center of Europe. Right?
Okay.
It is the biggest country in Europe in terms of territory. It's bigger than France, Germany, Poland, and everything. So, provided that Russia is Eurasian country, so pure European country, Ukraine is the biggest.
Okay.
So this is nice. And then, no, it's not. It's from the north and the east. We have border with the Russian Federation and Belarus. These are the only former Soviet states. And from the west we have Poland.
Okay.
We have Slovakia.
Okay.
We have Romania. We have Hungary. We have Moldova. Oh, Moldova. Sorry, Moldova one is the one. Moldova is in the west and southwest of us, Ukraine. So to the south we have across the sea we have Turkey. We have Bulgaria. We have Georgia. And that's it. So basically that's it. I mean, nice geographical position.
Right. Right. And if we are talking about the people living in Ukraine, considering that you are surrounded by so many nations and countries, how can we diverse Ukraine with Russian and also with Georgia?
Oh, Georgia is far away. It's
Far away.
Caucasus, yes. It's
Caucasus.
different.
So Russia and
Totally
Ukraine.
You mean how I tell the difference, right?
Yeah. In terms of people, I mean human being.
Yeah, I understand. It's a long story to tell, right? It's I'll try to make it brief. But Ukraine, if you look at the map, it's mainly plain.
Okay.
Not much mountains.
Right.
Like on the west we have Carpathians, and on the south we have Crimean mountains.
Okay.
All the rest is nearly the plain. So it's very good soil, very good, a lot of rivers, a lot of lakes, a lot of forests, everything. So it's good for agriculture, it's good for life. The climate is good. And that's why through centuries and millenniums, there are dozens or hundreds of various nations crossing this land. So Ukraine, I would say it's like a melting pot of the whatever cultures coming from back from the fourth millennium before Christ.
Okay.
It's like 6,000 years ago.
Right.
So we have this tripila culture, which was pretty developed. They have the houses, like two-storied houses. They have pretty big cities, and this culture was spread across this Eastern European part. Like in Romania, there are some remains and everything. So 6,000 years ago, right? Then the Slavic tribes came, and then Scythians, then the Polovets, whatever, like nomads crossing this plate. So people living there fighting and then mixing and then fighting again and then mixing again. So yeah, Ukraine has always been under attack from the north, because this is the part where the like wild tribes used to live, like from Karelia, from Finland, from that direction. Then we have always we are under attack from we call it great we call it steppe,
steppe.
Plains, yes, yeah. So where no forest, no trees, like from nomads from the south, all right. So from this direction. Then we had same story from the east, and this is the way where Mongolians came in 13th century, so devastated everything. And we also had the problems from the west, because the Western European cultures, like Roman Empire, like Goths, like Romes, like Daki, like whatever. So they came from that. So this was the melting pot and the battlefield for all the nations. So Ukrainians, classic Ukrainians, is the mixture of Slavic nation, local tribes, yeah, and all those around us. So if you ask about the classic Ukrainian beauty, like for a girl, everybody in Ukraine will pick it from the songs, folk songs, from the stories, and we say that this will be a lady with black hair, black eyes. Not blue eyes, not white hair. So classic Ukrainian is like this. Yeah, it's... as for the Russians, they are very different, because they have more of blood, not from Slavic, because Russian tribes were more towards the Finland, the Karelia, and then towards Asia. So they have all this concentration of those blood, and that's why they have blue eyes, like more flatter face, and more like yellowish or blonde hair and everything. So. In fact, we are very different, and it's not even the recent research, but the long time ago, a lot of research were made, and then genetics confirmed it, that Ukrainians are much more closer to the tribes of Slovenia, Slovakia, Poland, even Lithuania, and the southern Belarus, than to Russia.
Okay.
So this myth, one of the myths Soviet Union created, was the cradle of the Slavonic people, Slavic people, is Russian, Ukrainian, and Belarus nations. These are it's not.
Okay.
And even as for the language, Ukrainian language is the closest with Belarus language and Polish. And then goes Slovenian, I think, and then Russian. So Russian is far away from that. That's it. Basically, very close.
But in terms of the language, you speak
Ukrainian. Oh yes.
And Ukrainian close to.
The closest is Belarusian from Belarus,
okay.
and from Polish. The closest, and you see, it's more ancient than Russian, and we still preserve a lot of words which come from the. I think among the Slavic languages, the most ancient, most closest to the sources is like Bulgarian, Serbian, that sort of, because they still preserve a lot of words. So it's like from centuries ago, we've lost them already, and we used to have these words, we understand them, but now we don't use it in everyday life.
Right. Very interesting, yeah. So because I was told by books, media saying that you are closer to Russia and Ukraine.
That's myth that they created really in the Soviet Union, because it was good for the communists.
Yeah. When you joined the Soviet Union.
Oh, this is another story. This is a big story again.
Right.
So Ukraine never joined Soviet Union. Never. Because in 1918, 1920, it was occupied by the communist army, by the Bolshevik, they call it Red Army. It was occupied. And we resisted fiercely. We had one army, two armies, then we had a lot of, sorry, it's okay?
No, it's okay, it's okay.
And we had the guerrilla fighting all around Ukraine. We just resisted it. But at that time, because Ukrainian, those fighters and guerrillas and army never united in one force, never united. That's why they were just, extinguished one by one. And then it was just occupied. Very simple. This is the eastern part of Ukraine I'm talking about.
Okay.
Right? And besides, at that time there was another threat. It was the Russian White Army.
Okay.
Of Russian Empire. Yeah.
Menshevik,
So it was Red Army and White Army,
Right.
with the officers from the Tsar and everything. So they all tried to fight Ukraine and to occupy Ukraine.
Yeah.
This was the bad and the very complicated and very, very hard. And we didn't survive in this fight. But the western part of Ukraine at that time belonged to the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
Okay.
And partially to Poland. So it was like Poland, Austria, Hungary, part of Romania. So it was like divided, split into. And this part remained until 1939, when the Stalin and Hitler divided Poland and took back just occupied the rest of the territories.
Right.
So that's what happened. And Ukraine, as it is, was forced into the Soviet Union finally in 1939.
1939.
Yes, beginning of the Second World War.
Yeah, just before the Second World
Yes.
War. Yeah.
But the army of resistance fighted against Soviet troops till 1955 or 56, long after the Second World War finished.
So we can say that after 1955 or 56, you are completely with Soviet Union.
Yes. So the last fighters, last soldiers were killed, and it stopped. But people saved it in their hearts, so till now.
Right. Did you enjoy your time under Soviet Union?
To be honest or not?
Yeah, to be honest, of course.
To be honest?
Yeah.
It's very simple to answer, right? Very simple.
Yeah.
At that time I was much younger,
Okay.
much healthier,
Yeah.
and I didn't have a single idea what goes on across the border.
Right.
So what we were told is all these capitalists, all these imperialists, all the slavery, the racism, everything, whatever bad is over there in the United States, in UK, in Europe, and whatever is good is here. Right. That's one thing. So I didn't know what. First time I saw the foreign citizen, it's when I was like 16 years old, because the place I lived was closed for foreigners. It was banned for foreigners.
You mean Kiev?
No, I didn't live in Kiev. I live in Dnipro, in the eastern part.
Okay.
So this was, they have nothing but military plants.
Okay.
All these missiles and everything, so were produced in my city. So it was forbidden for foreigners to visit at all. Just absolutely. So I didn't see anyone. And who? No. There's one part. Second part, I clearly remember many things from the Soviet times.
Okay.
Clearly. Meaning what? You won't buy clothes? You cannot. There is no clothes, no nice clothes. You have to go around, find the people to help you to buy nice shirt or trousers or shoes. Okay? You cannot buy food because there is no normal food in the shops. You have to find friends or someone to lead you to the gudang, whatever it is, to the warehouse, and then maybe you pay 3 times as much, and then you buy something good. For a box of chocolates for a new year, for example, you can queue for 30 hours day and night. You just sleep there and wait till they open the shop and then give one box, one hand. So, right? So, queuing for 30 hours just for one box of chocolates. I remember queuing for 4 or 5 hours for bread, just for bread, roti. Same story for milk, same story for butter, everything. You pick up anything in the Soviet Union, there is not possible to buy. TV, even the bad TVs from the Soviet manufacturers, no. You have to queue, you have to order, you have to pay more. Furniture, no. Fridge, no. Washing machine, no, nothing. Nothing.
So it was total poverty.
Yeah. No, it was not poverty. It was not poverty, it was deficit. Everything was deficit. And then we have this special language, Soviet language for things. We, let's see what is thrown away. Thrown away means that something good was put on the shelves, and you can try to buy it, and all that stuff, So what I remember from the Soviet Union, really, right? Deficit, total deficit, total deficit for everything, And yes, and another impression is huge propaganda. So every day from the time we were small children, like 6, 7 years old, every day we go to school. Every day we listen to this political news, and we have to deliver like, some countries, some communist regimes in whatever country is oppressed by someone else. Like we are supporting Nicaragua, we're supporting like Angola, this war in Afghanistan because they're communist. Okay, so everyone who is not communist, bad enemies, must die. That's what we hear every day. So that's it.
When you were born, sir?
71.
71.
1971. Yes.
So you were 20 in 1991.
Yes. When Soviet Union collapsed, I was 20 years.
And you were in university?
Yes. Then, I passed my exams in 1990. Okay. So I moved to Kiev. At that time, I was like Soviet still. And then in 91,
Right.
So I remember everything.
So now we are talking about bilateral issue between Indonesia and Ukraine.
So one more.
Okay.
Little joke.
Right.
It's a favorite joke of President Reagan from the United States. He told this. It's a very famous joke. He told Gorbachev. So I tried to make it. It's very typical for the Soviet Union, right? Okay. So the man asks the other man from the Soviet Union. So how do you buy a car?
Okay.
Oh no. The man comes to the bank and say, how much money do I have? Okay, so in 5 years, because I booked a car, so in 5 years, I come here and take the money to pay for a car. And say, okay, it's good, let's wait, and say, well, what time do I open? What time can I come? I say, oh, it's any time, but no, tell me, what time? So 12 o'clock, why asking her? Because in 5 years, in 10 o'clock in the morning, I have the plumber to repair my water pipes and everything. That was exactly like this.
Plain economy.
You queue for 5 years for a car, and then you queue for a plumber because,
Reagan has so many jokes about Soviet.
Now I don't even laugh,
Sorry.
No, it's fine for you, but I don't even laugh because at that time it was funny, but now it's not because I think, oh my God, I really, it was very tough times for my parents.
So what went wrong with Soviet Union, sir?
What was wrong? Ideology.
Ideology?
Yes.
Close ideology.
Ideology was very, very much wrong, which I never supported. And thanks God, my father never was a communist, and he just taught me. He explained to me why, what happened to this country, how many people were killed during the 19th. You know this story about the Great Famine in Ukraine? Great Famine? No, 1932, 1933.
Okay, before you joined the Soviet Union.
No, it was, 1932, 1933.
32, 33.
Yes, because early part of Ukraine, this part of Ukraine was in the Soviet Union since 1920,
Right,
like, sort of.
okay, okay.
And at that time, during the 1 year, around 6 to 8 million, nobody knows how many, 6 to 8 million people died of hunger in Ukraine. Died of hunger. Because they didn't want to join the collective farms, they didn't want to join party, they didn't want to follow the party course, they want to just to delve and deliver they were killed, just killed. Because everything they have, all the grains, all the wheat, all the corn, everything, including potatoes, were taken away and changed into something, into gold, whatever Stalin planned. 6 to 8 million for such a country. That's one example of what Soviet Union was. So the ideology was right. So that's why I, till now, the communism and communist ideology is one of my, inside my heart, is one of the greatest evil ever appeared in this world.
But now we still have communist country, China, Vietnam, and you were in China.
Yes, yes.
So what's difference from China communist and Soviet communist?
If you want to China, well, I'm not good about talking about Vietnam, but China I can.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I can give you the difference. In China, the ideology is communist ideology, but the reality is more like a liberal bourgeois reality.
Okay.
It's more like capitalist reality.
Okay.
So what they did, they mixed. They call it socialism with Chinese specifics. So they made this formula. They cannot just, give up the socialism as ideology.
Right.
But all the economy, everything, whatever happens there, doesn't go, doesn't go together with the economy, with banking system and everything. Yes, it is restricted. Yes, there are clans. There is Communist Party, obviously, which rules, and like inner party, outer party.
Right.
We all understand this.
Okay.
But after Mao Zedong, of course.
Yeah.
So after Mao Zedong, things changed, and liberal capitalism started slowly, and I'm not in the position to criticize today's Chinese ideology. So I felt myself pretty comfortable in 2002 till 2010. I saw the developing country really developing fast and developing in the right direction. So we could presume that the ideology doesn't influence the economy. It can restrict it somehow or regulate somehow, but it doesn't influence it badly. In the Soviet Union, it was very straight. You have ideology and nothing else. So nobody cares about the people. Chinese do care about the people.
Right.
They say our democracy, which differs from the so-called democracy they try to import from the West.
Right.
Different. Why? Because we care about our people. We really care about them. We eliminate poverty. We let them earn money. We let them to be prosperous. We let them to be healthy. We let them to be blah 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 to develop.
Right.
So that's what they did. In Soviet Union, nobody cared about the people. What people? Till now, the offspring of the Soviet Union, Russia, same story. When we tell them, guys, you started the war in Ukraine, in the eastern Ukraine, right? You have a lot of people killed from Russia. How do you explain to the people? So we are a great nation. We have a lot of women. They will bear more kids, no problem. This was the formula of Stalin and Zhukov during the Second World War. This is formula Putin uses now. We have a lot of women. What's the problem? We'll have more children, more soldiers. Okay.
Because the people is the property of the state.
Yeah. Nameless, spiritless, just go.
Sir, now we are talking about bilateral issue.
Yeah.
What is your main mission now in Indonesia? What do you think that we have to develop?
This is a very good question, and I can also talk a lot about this. But I think my main mission is the one we mentioned in the beginning of our talk. Main mission is to introduce Ukraine into Indonesia and bring Indonesia to Ukraine. This is less because this is more a task of my friend Pagdubes Gafur, which in Ukraine now, and before it was Mr. Yudi Krishnandi's task. So, but I would formulate it like this: I want Ukrainian colors of Ukrainian bandera to be present every day in Indonesia, on the map of Indonesia. That's my mission. So to introduce Ukraine to Indonesians, let them know more about it. Because it is no good to start, I think, in this situation from the yellow. Like, we have a lot of products, we have a lot of technologies we can introduce. If I say this, I say, okay, perhaps you have something, but I don't know you. Who are you? Where are you from? Oh, Ukraine. Why Ukraine? You go and ask whatever common people in Ukraine. What do you know about Indonesia?
Same question.
They say, I asked many, and it's not like people from the village. It's people from the city, capital city. So it's other young people and everything. I say, what do you know about Indonesia? I say, oh, Indonesia. Where is it? Oh, is it not far from Singapore? Okay, you say yes. It's not far from Singapore. What else do you know?
Close to Bali.
That's what they know. Not far from Singapore and Bali. Bali, I hope it's not like, it's not a country, right? It's somewhere in Indonesia. So that's what they know. Same story about here. Ask, where is Ukraine? Oh, Ukraine is somewhere. Russia? Is the best people, you know, like the best answers, somewhere Russia. That's why I want to deliver this message.
Right.
First, Ukraine is not Russia.
Okay.
Second, we are friendly and we can be good friends and partners.
Okay.
But to become friends, the first step is to know each other.
Right.
We do not cooperate with you, never, before I know your name. What?
Right.
Then,
Right.
I know your name, right? You know mine.
Right.
We cooperate? No. We sit down and have coffee.
Right.
We talk. Okay. We cooperate? No. Next time I invite you for a dinner. We sit down, have dinner. Then we invite our families. Just sit down. Do we cooperate then? No. We become friends. We go play golf. Maybe I invite you to my family, to my flat, to my yes. Maybe I invite you to Ukraine. Just have a look. Then we become friends. And then what happens? Do we cooperate then? Perhaps.
Maybe.
We exchange the information and then, but you trust me. I mean, in this situation, I tell you, okay, listen to me. We have 4 technologies in this sphere you are interested in.
Okay.
But this and this, maybe not so good. And this one is too expensive or maybe not suitable for your country. But this one is really good.
Okay.
And this guy said, he's not doubting. He's not questioning you anymore. He said, yeah, okay. You tell me this. You're my friend. I trust you. Let's go try. That's how it happens. You have to look. You have to feel. You have to hear. You have to, like taste. After this, that's my mission, to bring Ukraine into Indonesia. So for people to know. And for people to know this really like countries with like what? Like far away from each other, like 10,000 kilometers. But we have so much in common. It's amazing. Nearly every day I feel that we have many things in common.
Such as, please.
Such as, it's interesting. It's funny, but it's okay. First thing, which just came into my head, Independence Day, in August.
Okay.
Both in August, 1724.
Okay.
Heroes Day, Hari Pahlawan, nearly the same. In tell me when, in November. What is 16th of 11 or 16th of November, I think. Or
Indonesia.
Yeah. 10. Yeah. So we have the 16th of November.
16th of November.
Hari Pahlawan. Like Ukraine, Indonesia really fought for independence. It was not given the independence at that time. It fought with arms and fought fiercely. And then it fought for its place in the United Nations. We did so. We fought fiercely with the enemies back in end of 19th century, beginning of 20th century, then middle of 20th century, we fought like you, same time. And even General Sudirman, great hero. We have same hero in Ukraine, many, like you have many. But for example, this is amazing. I'll give you this flash disk. You'll have a look. We even made a video. Dua General Satu Tujuan Merdeka. Those two generals, Ukrainian and Indonesian, died in the same year. General Sudirman because he was ill, but he saw the independence. Yeah. This general from Ukraine in 1950 was killed because he was betrayed by someone, by traitor, and was executed by the Soviets.
And his name?
Shuhevich. Roman Shuhevich. He was the head of the army, number one, like General Sudirman. And they died same year, and he didn't see the independence. But his words were, "We all die, definitely. We will not manage because it's too hard to. It's too big, the Soviet, and too strong. We'll die. All of us will die, but we die for the future independence of Ukraine." Amazing. And same story, same spirit. Fought. We understand the taste of this, of fight for independence. And like Indonesia, Ukraine has always been keeping this in their hearts, because Ukraine was never, ever the empire or the we never had the king, never in our history, never. That's what I call personally. I know there's no such term, but I personally call it the democratic anarchy.
Democratic anarchy.
What it means that anytime these guys are just militaries, Cossacks, they say, gather together, leader, we don't like you, step down, we'll choose another one. Who is going to be a king? What? Get away, we don't want king, we are free people. That's what happened. That was the peculiarity of Ukraine through centuries, and that's what the pain of Ukraine through centuries, because they never united in one to become a single country. Because everybody was a king. Here we call it a leader. I'm a leader here, okay? I'm the boss. Next village, another boss. Next village, another boss. So we're bosses, we get friends, but when it goes to fighting, no. So another one is we have been looking for our national idea and national identity of Ukraine. Because listen to Russians, they always say, oh, Ukraine, what Ukraine? We don't know what there is no such country as Ukraine, because you are split into few parts. Western Ukraine, Eastern Ukraine, Southern Ukraine, it's all different. You never be together.
Okay.
And then I saw this when I came first to Indonesia. I saw this Garuda Pancasila and I read this Bhinneka Tunggal Ika. I said, this is now our national idea. This is only and unbeatable idea of our national identity. We are different, but we are united. This is amazing. Amazing. You have so many nations, so many ethnic groups, so many religions. In Ukraine, we have different religions and different ethnic groups. But some say that we have up to 100 plus ethnic groups in Ukraine. Many. Not like here. Here is more complicated, I believe. But in Ukraine is also a lot. Too many. And we, in terms of religion, we have different picture, of course, because we have Orthodox, which is influential, you don't have here. And we have Judaism, which you don't have here. And we don't have Buddhism and Confucianism and Hinduism. No, we don't have these.
Muslim you have also?
Yes, of course. There's a big Muslim community.
In southern side, no?
It's actually it's spread all over Ukraine, but yes, concentrated the cradle of Ukrainian Muslim community is in Crimea. That's why now it became a tragedy for our Muslim people, and this is something I'm trying to call upon the Muslim community in Indonesia to support the brothers and sisters, because they suffer now. I mean, you know the history of the Crimea. It's very simple. It's not simple, but it's I can describe in 2 words. Crimean Tatars were the like authentic ethnic group, nation, no, not nation, but ethnos of Crimea. They've been living there for centuries.
Crimean Tatar.
Crimean Tatars. It's separate. It's not Tatars from Kazan or whatever Tatars from Mongolia. No, it's different. Very much Crimean Tatars, and they have their own religion. They have their own, like, they have their own language. They have their own architecture, writings, and everything. So it's very specific. And it was good. Everything was okay. They are making trade with Ukraine, like with continent, because they're on a peninsula. Making trade with Turkey and with everyone else. Sometimes fighting, normal. Sometimes getting together, fighting against someone else. It's okay. But they were staying there. And everybody knows this is Crimea, Crimean Tatars, okay. But in 1943, Stalin all of a sudden made an order. Remove all the Crimean Tatars from Crimea. And within few weeks, 100% of Crimean Tatars were moved away from Crimea.
To where?
Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Siberia, all around Soviet Union. All around the Soviet Union.
And they put Russian to Crimea.
Yeah. So Crimean Tatars were just like Jewish people, right? Okay. They lost the motherland and don't have the native land. The Tanahir never exists. It does exist, but we cannot go there. Okay.
But
so
they still exist, yeah?
Yes,
all
of
over
course.
the world.
So, no. After 1991, after Ukrainian independence, all the...
Coming back?
Yes, they came back to Crimea. They came back to Crimea, but then they saw the situation when all the Russians, like from the Soviet people living there, so they don't welcome them. So, why did you come? It was a long time ago, like 50 years ago. What do you want from us? You want land? It's our land now. So, and they started to live in the districts, which not the best districts for life, right? It's not like the seashore, no. So it's a huge community. It's like, I think it's like around 1 million people in
it's very
in
interesting
Crimea.
story.
Yeah.
I never heard about this before.
Yes, this is like a truth, right?
Right.
And now after 2014, when Russia occupied Crimea, they started to oppress the Crimean people once again. So it's not your land, go away. So a lot of Crimean Tatars, majority, they moved to Ukraine, ran away to Turkey, Ukraine, everywhere. And Russian occupation, they forbade the Majlis of Crimean Tatars. They say it's terroristic organization. So the Parliament of Crimean Tatars, right? Terrorists, forbid. Dozens of Crimean activists, hundreds I think, and journalists are imprisoned in Crimea, in Russia, for something, like you are a terrorist, come on. You are the, impose danger of our state, come on.
So now we are jumping into the third part.
Sorry,
then.
yes. Yeah.
So,
as for the mission, yeah?
yeah, it's for the
We're
mission.
talking about
So,
the mission.
but
Another mission.
But I still have another question. Yeah, please, another mission.
Yeah.
Getting to know.
First one,
The first one.
I told you. Yeah. The second one is we really have something very special to propose in Tunisia. I will not disclose everything.
Right.
Okay.
I know.
But in terms of food security, in terms of technologies, because Ukraine is really good in some technologies which Indonesia really wants and needs. We are good in this, but it's important for them to know that we really have it. Right?
Okay.
So communication, visiting each other, talking to each other, seeing things, right? So if people go there and see, okay. I mean the technologies, whatever, food processing, military, even like aviation, even like shipbuilding, even like machine building and all this stuff, a lot. Chemistry, everything. So a lot of things. Third one is it's my mission. I think it's very important. Education and tourism. So now everybody knows Bali, and all Ukrainians want to go to Bali. I want Indonesians to go to Ukraine. because it's wonderful, beautiful, and it could be very attractive and very, very much interesting to explore. And I want Indonesian students to go to Ukraine for study.
For study.
Because you know what? For some reason, I don't know yet, because I'm here just a new kid on the block, but you know what? We have like 30,000 of Indian students studying in Ukraine.
30,000.
30,000, only from India. And I don't see the difference. They speak English, okay. Indonesian people also speak English plus Bahasa. So
What do they study?
Indians, a lot of Indians study medicine.
Medicine?
Yes.
Not
The-
IT, not
the majority
technology.
medicine. We have a lot of Chinese, Pakistani, from Africa, from everywhere. From Europe and from the United States, we have a lot of students, but mainly studying music, singing, opera, arts, physical culture. So these are the
So the subject is conducted in English?
could be.
Could be.
But there's no problem. I mean, people from Indonesia or from any other country come to Ukraine. 1 year of preparatory faculty where they learn English or Ukrainian, and then after this they go to the faculty. It's easy to learn. It's very easy to learn. So all the people, like we have hundreds of thousands of students in Ukraine. So it's a lot. And
Very interesting.
and we have a very high level of education. And what's important, if you deliver this to the audience, it's really cheap. It's cheap. So if you have a choice to pay $2,500 annually or 25,000, you know, it makes difference.
Right.
So I really welcome Indonesian students.
Right.
It's
Is there any like a scholarship scheme?
no,
Not yet. Not
because not yet. You know, it's cheap.
cheap.
If you study in Australia for $25,000, you can have some scholarship programs, you know, to decrease the amount. But you have already like 2,500 annually. It's already like a scholarship. You never get anywhere in the world.
I will ask my daughter.
Yeah.
Because my daughter finished his school this year.
Yudi's daughter is going to go to study in Ukraine.
I will talk to this.
Yeah.
To her about this. Okay, sir. In terms of trading and investment, do we have some record?
We don't have records of investments, as far as I know. Like registered investments, if they are too small.
Yeah.
Because the reason is very simple. Well, both Ukraine and Indonesia are not the biggest investors worldwide. However, I think that there might be very good prospects for investments. Well, I know that nowadays there are some Ukrainian people making small investments into Indonesia and bigger investments into Indonesia, palm oil, mineral resources, development of so whatever metals and whatever something, they do it. And the food processing, IT, a lot of Ukrainian in Bali, they do nice things and nice projects. So starting from zero, and they are doing something. So there are small investments, and once we have the, like, you know, investors are people who count money. If they understand there is an attractive policy, or if policy is not so attractive but profits are big, they come and do.
Okay.
Right. So my mission is to introduce the environment for investors in Ukraine. Because
that's the foundation, yeah?
For example, very simple. Indonesia now is facing some little it's not a problem, but little questions in terms of exporting palm oil to Europe and so because of this and that and whatever else, right? If we have a good investor from Indonesia, and I know there are many powerful and very rich people here, and private companies, whatever, state companies. If they go to Ukraine and make a little investment for start to process the palm oil into something, I don't know into what, I'm not an expert, but we talked about this, to process it into something and then export anywhere. European Union, because Ukraine has the free trade zone with the European Union, could be North Africa, could be former Soviet Union like Belarus, Georgia, could be Turkey, could be whatever. We have good markets there. And you know, from Europe, from Ukraine, delivered to Africa, for example, it's easier than from Indonesia. Go all the way around there. Simple. So this might be a way, really. Because Ukraine is famous for its very qualified and not very expensive labor force. We have like 65% of population having high education. So even like a worker or maybe some small engineer, they all have high education
And trading?
Sorry?
And trading?
Trading, well, we have like 1.2 billion of turnover last year.
It's big, I think.
No.
Yeah. I mean,
Our potential is huge. I don't think it's big.
Okay.
No.
Okay, I agree with you.
For a country like Indonesia, in terms of, I am fighting for increasing Ukrainian export to Indonesia, okay? But also I want to, of course I will support export from Indonesia of something good things, like, I don't know. I would not mention because it's too much. To start from the fruits and everything, and until the fabric, until the mechanisms and like equipment, medicines, everything. So it's good. By the way, medicine is good area of cooperation. Very good. We can cooperate a lot in this. Ukraine has a very developed system of medical service in some very specific areas. For example, you remember this Chernobyl nuclear station catastrophe.
Yeah,
so
68.
since
86.
1986 till now, we've been researching and developing the medicines and the treatment for the people.
Victims.
Yes.
Contaminated,
contaminated by the nuclear something.
Is it in Kiev, yeah?
All around Ukraine, many places. Many places. So we know how to treat people who got this radiation and all this stuff. We have a very good system in terms of heart disease and etc. etc. So it can be done. It's good. So why not? Why not?
Interesting.
In terms of trade, well, I would go for increasing because it's not.
What we buy from Ukraine now?
It's grains, food, some equipment, not much.
Machinery, you mean?
Some machinery, not much.
Military?
Not much.
Not much, but there is.
Yes.
What?
I think that
Personal or tactical or?
Whatever. A lot. But you know what? It really was really badly influenced by COVID pandemic.
Yeah.
Because always like lack of money, because all the money put into this pandemic and blah blah blah. So it slowed down a bit. But I hope that pandemic is going to its end.
Right,
so it's turning endemic. So we last week I was with Omicron.
Right. Yeah. You told me.
Yeah. So it's like a flu, like 1, 2, 3 days, and then it's okay.
You just took a rest and then finish.
And finish. Drink water, took rest, drink water, vitamins, microelements, and then finish.
And Netflix.
Yeah. No, more reading than Netflix. That's,
Just kidding.
Some Netflix, some reading, yes.
So let's go to the current issues. Seems like the war is avoided. No. Yeah?
What do you mean?
I mean, we predict that there will be a war before. I mean, like last week.
Oh, you mean the Russian-Ukrainian issues?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, do you expect that Russia will move back to their home?
Where to start to be the best? Okay. Russia has been oppressing Ukraine for more than 300 years.
Yeah.
They will never stop.
Okay.
They will never stop. We don't expect them to. I mean, I don't expect that Russia will say, "Okay, just get lost. We are tired of you, Ukraine. Just go develop yourself." No, they will never do this.
Okay.
Because for Putin, as he mentioned very clearly, the biggest geopolitical catastrophe of the 20th century was what? The collapse of the Soviet Union. It's not the Second World War. not the First World War, not the Stalin's regime's atrocities, not the Gulag and all those like tens of millions of people killed in the camps. No, not Oswiecim, not Auschwitz, no, but the collapse of the Soviet Union. This was his position. So, if he thinks that collapse of the USSR is worse than the Second World War, would he ever stop trying to get it back, to build it up back from the pieces and everything? No. He wants to gather the countries back into this Russian, Russian protection, so-called.
You mean the CIS countries?
Well, yes, former Soviet countries. He understands that he lost Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania forever, but he never stopped because he understands if in this new Soviet Union, new as he dreams about, if there is no like Armenia or maybe Tajikistan, it's fine. But if it's no Ukraine, it will never be the Soviet Union. It will never be the real like union, right? Right. It's for sure. That's why he's so particular about Ukraine. So
because of your position?
Because of everything.
Because of everything.
Ideology, good land, resources, everything. And this is in mind. In mind. They always say that there is no such nation as Ukraine. They don't give. They say it openly. I don't know how to translate this word into. It's not yet a country. That's what they would call Ukraine.
So they do not teach about Ukraine in school?
No, come on. There is no such state. Ukraine is not a state. Ukraine is not a sovereign country. Ukraine is the piece of a Russian empire, which temporarily left the nest,
Mother Russia.
but will come back. Yes, that's what they say. Openly, everywhere, at schools, on the TV, on the movie, everywhere. So this is the ideology. So Russia will never rest. All we can do, we have to learn how to fight back, how to protect ourselves, how to defend. That's it. And gather the nice defensive weapons. And gather the support of the world. Because why I'm trying desperately to get Indonesia for a word of support. Because Indonesia, like nobody else, maybe in the whole region, knows the price of sovereignty and independence. And Indonesia's voice, if it's loud, no one in the world would ignore it. No one. Not China, nor Russia, nor United States, nor European Union. That's why I'm trying to, we had this story, the story about the Manuilsky and United Nations back in 1946. No? No. At that time, 1946.
Okay.
A newly independent country declared as independent, Indonesia, still doesn't have the seat in the United Nations.
Right.
So 1946, 21st of January, recently, the representative of Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic, Dmitro Manuilsky, first in history, raised hand and said, and wrote a letter to the United Nations, to all the countries, saying that Indonesia must be independent, must be recognized as independent state, and without Indonesia there will not be the security and peace in the region. So he raised the issue.
You have the original letters?
I don't have the original letters.
How can we find it?
We'll try to find.
Yeah.
We'll try to find.
Of course, it is in Ukrainian language.
This is no. It should be in English because this is widely remembered, and there were I'll show you the.
Yeah, if only we have this.
I'll show you something. Where's my mobile? Oh, here. It's pretty famous story. And then in 1948-49, it was Ukrainian delegation in the United Nations who really forced and prepared all the documents and did a lot for Indonesia to be recognized and have a seat finally in the United Nations. So we were like a leading role in this process. So, and we are really proud about it. That. However, was the
this is not in my history book.
No, Look at this. This says, Terima kasih Ukraina. Then, Hidup Manuilski. This is a photo from Indonesian streets. And yeah, President Sukarno at that time initiated this. So the whole Indonesia expressed the gratitude for Manuilski. This guy is Manuilski.
Okay.
It's Ukrainian permanent representative into the United
Ambassador
Nations.
in UN.
Of Ukraine into the United Nations, because we have
But at the
separate.
time, Ukraine was with Soviet.
Within the Soviet Union, but we have a separate representation, you know?
How was it possible?
I'm telling you, because after the Second World War,
Yeah.
Soviet Union was of course, the winner, right? But Soviet Union was very, very cunning thing.
Right.
It's like a union of independent republic.
Right.
Yeah. So they talked to the. You guys, United States, UK, France, Germany. Oh, not Germany. France. Who else? Blah blah blah. Many countries. You have the membership in the United Nations, right? And we, such a big country who won the Hitler, won the Nazi, just have one seat. No, it's not fair. So they introduced, so it was one Soviet delegation, Ukrainian delegation, and Belarus delegation. Three delegations representing the. And of course, yes, we were in this. Well, of course, they will listen, but the initiative was purely Ukrainian at that time. So we could make some moves, and this was a big deal, in fact, in that time.
So you were there since that time?
Sorry?
I mean, Ukraine in the UN since that time?
Yeah, non-stop.
Oh, non-stop. So even before the collapse of Soviet Union, you were there?
Yes.
And also Belarusia was
We
there?
have our Minister of Foreign Affairs.
You have your
Ukraine.
own flag in the UN?
Yeah. No, we don't have this flag. We have different flags because all the republics have their different flags.
Right.
But it was not Soviet flag, different.
Right.
And
Only Ukraine and Belarusia?
yeah. And we have the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine at that time, all the time. But we only have the representative in UN in New York and UN in Geneva.
Okay.
And in Austria.
In Austria?
Yes.
And also Belarusia?
Yeah. Belarus, I'm not sure about the Austria, but I think yes.
Yeah.
But we had this, so it's small ministry dealing with the UN, New York, UN Geneva, UN Austria, Vienna.
Okay. So you said before that for Russia, Ukraine is not such a country. It's not such a sovereign entity.
Last year.
I mean, just now you said this.
No, I said that Russia, every time they mention Ukraine, every time they prove that no such country is
Yeah,
Ukraine.
there is no such country.
It's not me saying this. I know we have.
Of course. Russia.
Yeah, it's Russian opinion.
And they will maintain this attitude.
Yes, they are maintaining it all the time, and it's like we call it hybrid war.
Hybrid war.
Meaning what? They impose direct threat as military because after occupation of Crimea and really fight in Donbass, in Donbass, since 2014, we have already 1,500 of Ukrainian soldiers died in action.
Okay.
1,500.
1,500.
It's more than Soviet soldiers died in Afghanistan during the 10 years of war or something. So it's amazing. It's outrageous, I would say. And
1,500 or 15,000?
15,000.
50,000.
15,000 people.
Okay, 50,000.
More than this. And we have millions of people moved from their homes and moved to Ukraine, to everywhere, to many places from that. So, and this one, economic pressure.
Okay.
Always pressing. Energy blackmailing, we say.
Okay.
So if you don't listen to us, we just cut down cut off the gas, the oil, things like that, electricity.
You still depend on Russia on oil and gas?
Yes.
Totally?
No, not totally, but the certain part we still buy from them. Okay. It's decreasing every year, but still we still buy.
Okay.
We still buy, unfortunately. And then it's all this blackmailing, all this media propaganda telling that Ukraine, there is no such state. You may switch on the light, by the way, if you want.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Russia always say that in 2014, when they occupied for the first time Crimea and Stavropol, isn't it? They said because the Russian people living in that area asked them to protect them.
they have to have an excuse. It's very simple.
Yeah.
It's what they do. Same story is in
Yeah.
Donbass.
Yeah.
Someone, the provocators say,
Mm.
Putin, please come, because we are oppressed by whatever Ukrainians. And it's very simple.
Then that's become an invitation for them.
It's like a very well-trained provocation. We all
Yeah.
understand this.
Yeah, now I understand
You
the
know-
story you mentioned about Crimea Tatar, yeah, because
Yeah.
they empty the land first.
Yeah.
They put
Yeah.
another people there, and then okay.
It's very simple. When the one guy from our very famous guy, like media guy in Ukraine, was asked, "Are you afraid of the Western Ukrainians coming into your Odessa, Western city?" So no, I'm afraid of Russians coming to save me and coming to protect me. That's what I'm afraid of. I don't want such protection.
Odessa.
So
Odessa, yeah. I've seen a movie, old movie, black and white, long time ago when I was in Singapore maybe. The title is Battleship Potemkin.
oh, Bronenосец Battleship Potemkin. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah.
Well, that was an old one. This
Yeah.
was a very old one.
It was in Kiev.
Eisenstein. No, it was in Odessa.
Odessa.
In Ukraine, yes,
In
South Ukraine.
Yeah.
Odessa, Black Sea port, yes.
Yeah, and at that time, Ukraine still an independent.
At that time, it was independent for a very brief period, for 2 years, for nearly 2 years. 1918, 1917 to 1920.
Yeah,
We even had the embassies somewhere, but then
Okay.
Bolsheviks came.
So if you want to introduce Indonesian to Ukraine, the knowledge about Ukraine to Indonesian society, I think one of your most spectacle is that Indonesian people, they are more Russian. Can I say this? They know more about Russia.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I think so, yes.
So it's like a challenge for you then.
It's a big challenge. It's a big challenge because, I cannot say I understand the history of Indonesia, but I read something and read something else, and I do understand that in those times, like in 40s, 50s, 60s, there was a certain very good relationship and very direct between the leaders of the Soviet Union and Indonesia. So exchanges and all this stuff, and still there are people who remember and who participated even in the process, etc., etc., etc. And because of, Russian policy was very good in the Soviet Union. Everything good is Russian. Something is maybe coming from other countries. So normally people who know about the Soviet Union, they think about Russia. What else countries? I don't know. Russia is main thing. That's it.
So can you tell me a little bit about the CIS?
There's no such thing now as CIS.
Okay.
But this was the what minions of Putin say. This was a big mistake of Yeltsin.
Okay.
That he let us go.
Okay. This is what Putin said.
Yeah, Putin and his minions say this is big mistake but they all thought it was temporary. We just let them play a little bit, then they will understand that without Russia they are nothing, and they come back. So they created this Commonwealth with independent states, but it never lived. It was never anything like of efficient economic cooperation, no military cooperation. It was like more on the more on political, interparliamentary, like more of that.
So I mean this CIS country, let's say CIS countries, and you are not a part of CIS.
We were before this war in 2014, before the aggression.
And the rest of the CIS countries, do they really depend on Russia?
No.
So Russia has nothing.
You know what Russia does? It's very. I mean, whenever Russia comes, what it leaves for the place is evil, nothing good, you know. For example, we used to have a very good trade relationship with Central Asian countries, like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan. We had a large turnover. We supplied this and supplied that. Now, Russia just forbid transportation, just blocked. We cannot deliver it to them because we don't have borders with
Access,
them. Yeah. Like this. Turkmenistan, good friend of ours and good partner used to be, right? And now is still. We used to import a lot of Turkmenian gas. But then Russia said, no more export of Turkmenian gas to Ukraine. We buy your gas for whatever price and sell it to Ukraine as ours for 3, 4, 5 times, 10 times as
the price.
As the price, yes. That's what they do. So they physically they block us from this communication. And in this term, yes, they may be dependent on Russian logistics, on something else. But in other cases, how can they be dependent? You know, even the last one, Armenia. Everybody thought, oh, Armenia is definitely like a minion of Russia. It is dependent fully on Russia's everything, protection. Then you see this fight between Azerbaijan and Armenia. Russia didn't move a soldier to help Armenia. So is it friend or dependent or what happens? And I know for sure that Russia was selling weapons both to Armenia and Azerbaijan, all the same weapons. Like here you have 2 fighters, you have 2 fighters. You have 3 missiles, you have 3 missiles.
They are testing the weapons.
you don't get friend with Russia. You don't become friend with Russia. No friends. No friends.
So what is the current situation now until they, what we said, we withdraw or they postpone?
Okay. So what happens now? As far as I know,
right.
The Russians on certain level they declared they're going to withdraw. It's not like withdraw, because they say that, well, we are moving our army within our borders, so it's nothing to talk about, right?
Right.
We can move it or we can remove it. We can whatever we want, right? But they say that yes, they're going to finish this military exercise and move somewhere, you know, like spread around the country. But what our Minister of Foreign Affairs says that it's good to hear it, but we want to see it, show it, because we don't trust any single word of your or what you say, because what they say is just lies. You know this phrase of someone that say that diplomats are the people who were sent by the countries to lie on behalf of the country abroad, right? So that's the motto of the Russian diplomats. They just come here and lie. We are a peaceful country. I just read the interview of Lyudmila Vorobyova, my
in CNBC.
Neighbor,
in CNBC.
Russian embassy, and she told such a ridiculous things. Like, I mean, we know what war is because we lost 27 million of people during the Second World War. How about out of this 27 million, maybe 27, I don't know. How about 10 million of Ukrainians? How about 6 million of Belarus? How about this? So they, let's say, they say they are the winners. Are they? I mean, war came through Belarus and Ukraine, the whole territory twice, this direction and that direction, like a smashing everything, you know. But the winner is Russia. How can that be? What it means? Like what? No other people. They don't see other people. No. What Ukrainians? Don't know. Then.
So you mean 10 million Ukrainians killed during the Second World War?
Every 6th Ukrainian died during the Second World War. Every 6th, and every 3rd Belarusian. So they just nearly extinguished. Millions of people.
27 million, all Russian.
Actually, it shouldn't be 20. Could be 22, 25, maybe. Nobody knows exactly.
Yeah, of course nobody.
Because
knows.
many people, at the same time, many people were killed by the Soviet people were killed by the Soviets in the camps by Stalin. So nobody knows. And then this thing that we're moving our troops within our borders, so nobody should influence, nobody should tell anything about this. It's our territory. And the second passage is, but Ukraine is militarizing, Ukraine is getting weapons. we are getting weapons to defend ourselves within our borders. Why you care about this?
Yeah.
So, if we talk about Russia, no, you shouldn't mention. If you talk about Ukraine, yes, of course, we are very concerned. We are concerned too.
Right.
I mean, it's not normal when you concentrate such a huge army on the borders and, telling every day that, even you try to extend NATO and you'll see what we can do. So, come on.
Sir, so who is controlling Crimea and Stavropol now?
Russia.
Russia.
Yeah.
So they are there.
Yeah. Well, now they proclaimed it a Russian territory. So we call it temporarily occupied territory of Crimea and Sevastopol, and they say it's Russian Federation. So.
And I mean, how do people react in Crimea and Sevastopol?
It's it's a complicated issue.
Right.
Because so many people left Crimea, and left.
You mean after 2014?
Yeah, so they left Crimea to Ukraine, so they moved to Ukraine and live in Ukraine now. So the people who left, I would not, honestly, I don't know 100% for sure, because I see some reports and they are not happy about this. But I cannot go there, to see with my own eyes.
Again, Russia said that in 2014 there was a referendum.
Yeah, of course.
And more than 90% of people say that we goes with Russia.
I have this, unfortunately, I have this small video in Russian. The guy walking on the street and saying, you know what, I'm 36. I work 16 hours a day. I have 3 kids. I have 3 companies. I run 3 companies. And besides, I have a lot of time for my kids, for my friends, for my wife. I play volleyball. I go for for swimming 3 kilometers every day, and I run 15 kilometers every day. Everything is easy if you lie. I mean, yeah, okay, referendum. We saw this referendum. What happens? They took the people from the from the coastal line, Sevastopol, Simferopol. Mainly, well, I would say that at that time they were oriented pro-Russian. No problem, because some of them migrated and everything. Yeah, those people who came to vote, they vote for to leave Ukraine. But in some places we know what it was. Like people saying, guys, you vote for Russia, you get money, you get some whatever potatoes, and they say, or porridge and something like this. If you don't vote for Russia, you just get out of it, get out of Crimea, because we will remember you, we'll make it tick, and you'll be very difficult to live. We call it the referendum under the gun. It's same referendum or whatever they call these elections in Donbass, because, I mean, you have the true platoon of people dressed in green with guns, and they say, come and try to vote against. And then they're given this, it's secretive voting, right? But no. Before they put it into the box, show it to me. Okay. Yeah. It's documented. I mean, it's videos and everything. At that time, they were not so particular about it, so nobody cared. They were like drunk of victory. Oh, we took away Crimea. Oh my God.
Sir, my last questions. Yeah. What's the meaning of the color, sir? Blue represent?
Right. You want the pathetic answer or the scientific answer?
Both.
Right. The pathetic answer is blue is the blue sky, clean and peaceful. Okay. Yellow is the wheat, the fields, full of grains, right?
Okay.
That's what it means.
Okay.
So it's peaceful labor and peaceful skies. That's it.
Okay.
And Ukraine is used to be like a supplier of grains for the whole Europe in 19th century, 20th century, etc. This is the pathetic answer, right? Scientific answer is more complicated because still till now nobody knows the final truth of it. But these colors and the trident, which is our symbol, right? They appeared back in like 1,500 years ago.
Okay.
Back those times. Meaning what? Meaning the colors of the Vikings, of the northern people, coming from north to south down to Ukraine. And then because at that time the first real kings, princes of Ukraine, were invited from the north. So Ukrainians say, we cannot rule ourselves. Come and rule us, because we cannot. We are fighting all the time between I don't like you and you don't like me. We are neighbors, and I don't want you to be my leader.
Okay.
But we have to have a leader, right?
Right.
Come. So
Someone
they come
else,
and they start ruling. You know, the Swedish flag, same colors.
Yeah, same color.
But different. And the trident, it was on the very early coins of Kievan Rus kings, of princes, we call it, princes, knyaz. Coins were not like trident, but like this, only two. Only two. Like of
Like
the
the horn, yeah?
kerbau.
Kerbau, yeah.
Yeah, like the symbol of ruling party of Indonesia, like
Right,
big
right.
kerbau. And it was the symbol of Vikings. They did, because it's like a strong. So then the third one appeared, and the coins started to be 1, 2, 3, like a trident.
Right.
So this is something I read, a very fundamental work on this, and I think that might be the truth.
Right.
However, there are a lot of legends, a lot of stories around it, so I would not be might not be 100% reliable on this. But
Very interesting.
But if you look at this, it's really unique, right? So I love it very much, and one of the reasons it's really unique. I mean, very simple, very small, nothing to add, nothing to take away.
Right.
It's not like in Russia, the eagle with 2 crowns and too many, or whatever it is,
Two heads, yeah, two heads.
Meaningless. This is like a good,
Right. Now I understand.
I'm proud of it, really.
Yes, sir.
Really proud of it.
Your Excellency, thank you very much for your time.
Thank
I
you
know
for your
that
time too.
We can extend our conversation, but of course we have to limit this. And we already have our WhatsApp, so we can communicate in our WhatsApp too.
Actually, we can sometime we can just go somewhere for
Right.
a cup of coffee or something, just for.
And the last thing that we want to do, taking your pictures properly next to the flag.
Yeah.
Yeah? Sini ya?
And then you send me one or two.
Before yes, the pictures you mean.
Yeah.
Yes.